6, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here. I'm out today with Anthony Rhodes, our Kubota Hay Tools product specialist. We're going to do a little bit of a walk around today on a Kubota disc mower conditioner. This is a DMC 8028R roll type machine that we have out here today. Anthony, can you tell us a little bit more about the other models that Kubota has in this line?
Okay, so you look at our mower conditioner lineup, we've got 9'2" up to 13'1" machines. We offer full width conditioning with both chevron rollers as well as semi-swing tines.
So what is the difference between a roll and a tine type conditioner? What kind of customer would want what type of conditioning system?
Generally speaking, most people that do alfalfa are going to prefer the rolls as it's a little more gentle on the crop. However, our semi-swing tine can be configured. So we can adjust our hood to adjust the aggressiveness on the conditioning from our tine conditioners, as well as we can swap the pulleys to slow down that conditioner on the tine unit. So like I said, in general, chevron rolls are going to go to alfalfa application mostly. Semi-swing tines or a flail type conditioner are going to be more of a grass hay.
Looking at this here, it's kind of hard to miss the huge springs for the flotation. How mechanically does the flotation work on this?
Okay, so our flotation system is real simple here. We attach it back here at the back. It attaches here at the front right above the cutter bar, and then we rigidly connect it back to the frame. It's like that on both sides. On the smaller units, it's only one spring on each side. On the larger units, there's two springs on each side to help lift that cutter bar. The way it works is as the cutter bar floats through the field and follows the different undulations in the field, the spring that's linked back into the frame here, it actually helps lift up that cutter bar to help it follow the contours of the ground very well. So you're going to see, each side is completely independent of the other side. This side, the right side here, it can float up 18.5 inches, while the left side would go down about 6 inches. It's going to follow those undulating conditions very well.
And so you can dial in and out your ground pressure then how? By changing that adjustment there in the back of the spring?
Correct. So right back here at the back of the spring, typically you're going to set that one time for the customer. At that point, you're going to be good to go, but you can adjust. Typically, general rule of thumb, you're going to be somewhere around 100 pounds weight on the ground there at the front. But if somebody wants to run faster, wants a little more down pressure to maintain better contact with the ground, we can adjust that. If somebody wants to go slower and be a little more gentle on their machine, we can stretch the spring out for that application as well.
So each vendor has their own preferences for cutter bar design, and Kubota's choice for this has been a low profile, thin cutter bar. Can you tell us a little bit about how it works?
Okay, so we've got a fully welded cutter bar here. We've got intermediate gears in between each hub. These hubs can be removed from the top. 4 bolts underneath this disc, and you can remove it right out the top if we have to service it.
There are shear hubs in there too, correct?
Right through the middle of this hub, we have a shear key, which is our protection. So if you do happen to get a loose rock up here between the discs or something, and something has to give, that keyway right there is what will shear. It is sealed inside of that hub. You've actually got to bolt up through the bottom with a washer, seals it all together. So if something is gonna have to give, it will be sealed inside of that hub.
The triangle shaped design, obviously that's fairly unique. I don't know that I've seen that before. What's the pros and cons to that?
Okay, so one of the things that's really nice about our cutter bars, from our disc mowers all the way up through our mower conditioners, we use a triangular shaped disc, 3 blades, and we always rotate these discs in pairs, counter rotate them in pairs. So this is an 8-disc machine. We counter rotate them there, and you see how much overlap we have, blade to blade, how much overlap we have here. So that will help us with streaking issues, help us with better overlap, help us get that crop up across the cutter bar for a nice clean quality cut in all conditions.
As you're turning here too, you have one knife is leaving the cut path when the next one is coming in, correct? So there's always a knife cutting in there?
Correct. So there's always a blade out in front, okay? This blade, by the time it is disappearing, the next blade's appearing. So that's going to help us create lift, help get that crop up to get a nice quality cut. You look at a 2-blade designed disc, there are going to be times where both blades are going to be across that cutter bar, and you're going to lose that effect.
So this is a little bit different in a cutter bar because typically a lot of other companies would use modular designs. This is one solid oil bath in the bottom, right? How do we run into problems with that when we're on side hills and stuff?
Okay, so it is a fully welded cutter bar, one solid oil bath here. going to be able to check that oil bath at one place. Right here, it's a little dirty. We've been running the machine today. You can check that at one place here. And it acts kind of like, you know, the Lucas oil.
Like flows across the gears as
Correct.
they're running.
The gears work it up through there. So you can
Yeah.
actually, they say from the factory, you can actually run these at a 45-degree angle, and it will get enough oil up through there to keep running it. You notice we have a gearbox here. It's tied to another gearbox in behind it. You can't hardly see it, but they actually pivot. They're attached to the rolls. So it's a gear-driven roller system here. So it will allow it to spread if it has to. If you get you run a rock through or something, it will allow it to spread to allow that obstacle to pass. But it is gear-driven. The two rolls are gear-driven. Also notice the spring here. This is where you're going to set your distance between your rolls, as well as your tension between the rolls. So you got a spring here, and you've got one on the other side as well. Cutting height adjustments are real simple. 1 point just on this side. You actually get the tool ratchet and a socket that comes with the machine. Allows you to adjust this cutting height. Either run it up or down here, in or out. It's going to run this pin up here and adjust your cutting height. Okay, so you can obviously adjust these baffles in or out for the width of the swath you want to leave behind, as well as this rear when you can adjust that up or down. We've got it all in the up position. One other really neat kit that we offer, it's our flip over widespread kit. You would take this last section here off, you put that on, and you have a pin on each side, a spring-loaded pin, which allows you to flip it over. One side will be flat, so you could windrow. The other side has vanes on it. So you flip that over, and if you're running that side, you take these shields out, mount them up top here, and it will pretty much spread it out just like you mowed and tedded in the same
So
pass.
you can easily change from using that to not using it just by rolling the...
Yes, all you do is you pull a spring-loaded pin on this side,
Yeah.
spring-loaded pin on that side, it flips, flips, pop them back in, put these in,
Okay.
and you're good to go.
So
Or
that's
take them
cool.
out, vice versa.
So
very,
that
very
becomes
cool.
really easy to switch back and forth between
Yep.
the two.
Very cool kit.
Yeah.
Standard equipment on all of our mower conditioners is a swivel gearbox at the hitch. All of our side pull units, the 9'2" and the 10'6" machines, come standard 540. You can flip the gearboxes over, readjust the oil, change the yoke at the tractor, go to 1000, and the larger units are the opposite. So they become standard 1000, so you can go vice versa. So what this does, it moves the pivot point back to the gearbox, allows you to make a really hard right turn, keep that PTO shaft straight at all times, as well as a hard left turn. So you can make that hard left turn if you got to go down a road, make a left-hand turn into a field. You can easily do that with this, and it's standard equipment on all of our machines.
So you said something there that I think is important. So this is set up for 540 right now.
Correct.
And if you wanted to switch it to 1000, literally all you got to do is flip-flop the gearboxes?
All you have to do, take these gearboxes out, flip them over, readjust the breather plugs, check the oil, make sure we adjust that correct, put a 21 spline yoke on the front,
Yeah.
and you're good to go.
You got 1000 RPM.
All of our side pull machines have this drawbar hitch. All of our center pivot machines do have a 2-point hitch, but you can get either option. If you'd rather have a drawbar hitch on a 12 foot or a 13 foot, that's an option, as well as a 2-point hitch on the smaller machines. That's an option as well.
So for somebody who hasn't run one of these before, might be looking at their very first disc mower, what would cause you to choose one hitch option over the other, or is it purely personal preference?
If somebody's going to be pretty much staying on their own field, sometimes it's easier to drop a pin, snug up the bolts, and go to the field. I feel like you get a little bit more stability out of a 2-point hitch, but there are a lot of people that want to transport between farms behind a pickup truck. It's not real easy to do that with a 2-point hitch.
Right.
So that it's really about transport is what drives a lot of people to the drawbar.
So you might find a little bit more stability and performance from a 2-point, but
like you get
a
better
lot of flexibility from,
like
from
you get,
the drawbar version.
Correct. Notice all of our hoses and cords are run underneath this shield on top of the main arm here. So if for some reason you got to get to those, you take the shields off, you can set those right off. We don't snake them right down through the middle of this frame or anything like that. See, they come out the back right here.
If you have any need for hay tools, we can help you with any parts or service for your equipment. Give us a call at Messick's. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at messick's.com.